So, what's his name? I forgot. Hold on. I'm looking. Trickler. Yes, that guy. He goes to his friend
Ramen?
Rodriguez.
Wait,
Hmm?
wait, is that ramen?
No, it's the oil guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I forgot.
No, it's fine. But, Trickler goes to his friend Rodriguez and he's like, I'll offer $10,000 if you get rid of him. And, uh, Rodriguez is like, oh, of course. And Rodriguez like goes to this other guy named Pablo, and he gives Pablo $5,000 for an accident to happen to Tintin. And Pablo's like,
Wow.
Pablo, Pablo is like, oh yeah, sure, I can arrange an accident. And it shows Alonzo and Ramon, and Ramon's like practicing his knife throwing skills, and he actually hits the target. And so Alonso's like, remember exactly how you did that tonight so we could kill Tintin. So now we have two people trying to murder Tintin. So, great night for him.
Oh, he's still in his colonel suit.
I know. It's because I guess he's like getting home from working or something, so he just doesn't change out of it.
Yeah, he's still in his thing. Is it colonel or colonel? Whatever.
Colonel.
Colonel, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. So that night, Tintin is walking home, and Ramon he like throws the knife and it misses Tintin, and instead it cuts down this cluster of bananas, and the bananas fall on Pablo who's trying to shoot Tintin, and so Pablo instead ends up missing Tintin and shooting Ramon in the butt, and Ramon
Ow.
runs away because
That's actually that's gotta hurt.
I know, like holy crap.
Bit violent.
Not the most violent thing that happens in this series
Yeah,
though, honestly. But
true.
Tintin like he not only is wielding a sword, like a straight up sword, honestly, but he also has like his gun in one hand and he like charges into the bushes and finds Pablo, and Pablo's like, "Oh, please spare me. I'll tell you everything." And it cuts to Ramon getting back to Alonso, and Alonso's like, "Dude, what happened? Are you hurt?" And Ramon's like, "Oh, he tried to kill me." Oh. And Alonso's like, "Oh, here, sit down." And Ramon sits down on a pincushion, because, of course,
What? Why would they put that there?
one of them was sewing, I guess, and just left it there.
Yeah, I guess I'll while my friend Ramon goes out to kill Tintin.
Yeah, good way to pass the time. But, Tintin's like, "Who paid you to get rid of me?" And Pablo says, "Oh, it was Rodriguez's, right-hand man, Mr. Wait, no, that's not what he says. He says it was Rodriguez, Mr. Trickler's right-hand man." And Tintin's like, "Okay, I forgive
Yeah.
you now." 'Cause, sure.
What?
I I don't know. Tintin's like, "Well, this guy told me everything. I know he tried to kill me, but I got good information, so I guess I'll forgive him or whatever."
Yeah, information. I'll forgive you for information.
Mhm. But Pablo's like, "Oh, thank you. I owe you my life and stuff." And Tintin's walking home again, and he's like, "Wow, I think he meant that, poor guy." And Snowy's like, "You shouldn't trust a rascal like that. You're so stupid, Tintin." He doesn't call Tintin stupid. He says, "You're far too gullible," but same
Yeah,
difference. And
yeah.
it's some days later, and Alcazar is back, and he's completely recovered. Huzzah! And when Tintin gets there, Alcazar is talking to Trickler again, or not again. This is the first time they've spoken. But Trickler says, "Look, General, just think about it. If you declare war on this place, and we get the oil fields and stuff, you also get like a lot of money from that. So, and Alcazar accepts, and Trickler's like, "Oh, great! I'm I'm so glad we understand each other and stuff." But
What are those pants?
I know, right?
It's
Honestly,
like, is that fabric? Is that real, like, cotton?
I don't
I
know.
don't even know what fabric that is. Okay, yeah, moving on.
Okay, moving on from judging their fashion sense. Um, Trickler, as he's leaving, goes, by the way, General, I don't think you should trust Tintin. He, you know." And he says, "I won't say any more, but you shouldn't trust him. You should trust me, who's going to, give you oil money and stuff, as opposed to Tintin, who saved your life." And um, Trickler says hello to Tintin on the way out, and Tintin goes in and is like, "Oh, good morning, General. I'm glad to see you're better." And Alcazar's like, "What is it now?" And Tintin's like so confused. He's like, Is he in a bad mood? Did I do something?" And
Aw.
and this other guy comes in, Basil Bazarov, and that the business card says Corrupt Arms GmbH. Hmm.
Hmm.
Makes you think.
Makes you go, hmm.
But yeah, this guy in like a green coat, I guess it's Basil. He comes in and is like, "Oh, good morning, Alcazar. I happen to be passing through your country, so I thought I'd show you these like plane models for war and stuff." Just conveniently passing through and stuff. And so, you know, while Basil is like showing Alcazar all these like planes and whatnot, Tintin's sitting at the side and he's like, "Wait a minute, excuse me."
He's just there.
I know.
He's just like,
He's like, "Are we sure this is a good idea?"
I
Like,
wasn't informed of this.
I know. He's like, "Wait a minute. Hmm."
What is going on?
Yeah, he seems very like startled. He's like, "Dude, what the heck are you doing?" But I guess like sometime later, Ramon and Alonzo are like hearing about this, that you know San Theodoros is gonna go to war with the other place, and it's basically he's just expositing and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was like a fight on the border and stuff. Stuff like that. But
They look they look like husbands.
they do. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like, it's like your wife is sleeping and, the dad is like reading the newspaper out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
ship.
but you see Basil like going to the airport, and he's like, now we're off to the Nuevo Rican capital, which is the place they're gonna make war on and stuff. So on the plane, he's like, I don't know, like sending messages or something. It's hard to tell exactly. I think it's like figuring out finances or whatnot. But he gets there and he's like, "I want to go to General Mogador's palace." I think that's how it's pronounced, and I don't know how else it would
Mog.
be. Mogador.
Yeah, yeah.
So so Basil goes to Mogador's palace, and half an hour later he leaves and he goes back to the airport, and he's like paying people. I don't know. It's hard to tell what he's actually talking about, but
Yeah, I think it'll be like I don't yeah, actually I don't know either.
yeah, I don't. But he gets back and it's Trickler, and he's like, "Well," and Basil's like, "Yep, it's all done." Uh, he says, "Another fat order and something to fix Colonel Tintin too." whatever that means. And
6,
yeah,
I guess.
he's gonna
That
kill him.
works.
Another murder plot against Tintin. Shocker. But it cuts to Diaz, and Diaz has like this package, and the guy he's with is like, you need to pay attention. That's a time bomb with a clock. It's going to explode at exactly 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. You better succeed this time. And Diaz is like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll succeed. And the next morning, Trickler's like talking to Alcazar again. He's like, General, I warned you about Tintin, but look at this letter. And it's like, um, to Tintin, and it's like, oh yeah, we got your plans for the airplanes and stuff. And it basically is framing Tintin to be a spy.
Oh.
And Alcazar's like, he's a spy! Oh crap! He'll pay for this and stuff. He calls someone, like, on the phone. He calls another colonel. And it's like, take 10 men and go arrest Tintin right now! That's an order! And it cuts to Diaz and the bomb's about to go off. And then it cuts to Tintin and someone's knocking on his door. And, he opens and he's like, oh, hey, Colonel. It's so good to see you. And the colonel Tintin is talking to is like, I'm sorry, but I've been sent to arrest you. And Tintin's like, arrest me? Me?
Oh my
And
god. It's like, I don't know why, but they're just so mannerly for some reason
I know,
about this.
it's probably because they've been getting to know each other over the last who knows how long.
Yeah, it's
So,
hilarious.
I know. It reminds me of Tim and Tom when Tim and Tom have to go arrest Tintin. Like, sorry, friend, but we kinda gotta arrest you.
When you grow fond of someone that you have to arrest.
Did you mean fan fiction?
I guess.
There's so many, like, fan fictions like that. But anyways,
Yep.
it cuts back to Diaz's side of the story, whatever, and it's these guys, like, talking, oh man, all the clocks stopped, so you had to go and fix them and stuff. And Diaz is like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, there's still, like, so much time left before this bomb goes off. And then he sees someone, like, changing the hands of the clock because the clocks are off. And he's like, oh crap, it's 11. And he explodes.
Oh.
Yay. But, it also shows Alvarez, he's like, uh, Tintin needs to be shot at dawn tomorrow. And stuff like that. And so Tintin's in prison again. And he even mentions this. He's like, man, I'm back in prison again. And they also locked up Snowy for some reason.
Yeah.
But, Tintin's like, well, if I'm not mistaken, that Trickler guy, he like set me up or whatever. And Tintin's like, it's probably not gonna be easy to escape, considering I'm on the 3rd floor. And it turns nighttime. He's still like sitting there like plotting his escape and stuff. When suddenly an arrow flies through the window, the bars of the window, and it has a string tied to, or like a note tied to it, and the note says, pull up the string, a rope is attached to it, tie the rope firmly to the bars, and then when you're ready, like, wave your handkerchief and stuff. And so Tintin does all these things, and you see these guys at, like, a tractor. It's like a straight up tractor, but,
Like, dang.
they, like, when they see Tintin's signal, they start driving forward, and it pulls the bars out of the wall, and Tintin, like, jumps out of the window, and they catch him and stuff. It's so ridiculous.
I know. The tractor and all. I
Yeah.
think Kersey just really likes drawing, I don't know, detailed
Mhm.
and machines. Because
Yeah.
I like there's like this magazine where he's drawing a bunch of plane.
Mhm.
So I guess he just likes drawing different cars.
Who knows? But
Yeah.
it turns out that Pablo was the one who saved Tintin. And so Pablo's like, hurry, they've raised the alarm and stuff. And Tintin's like, oh, Pablo, I'll never forget what you've done for me. And so they're escaping, and there's a gunfight and stuff. And Pablo's like, oh, don't worry, they shoot like a bunch of drunks. Also, I love Tintin's expression in this panel. He's like, excuse me? It looks like it kind of looks like he's internally screaming a little bit, you know?
Wait, wait, why? Wait, why would he?
I don't know.
Is
He's
it
just
because
probably
like he got
thinking.
drunk?
I think he's probably just thinking. I don't know. Like, geez, Pablo, you can't say stuff like that. Or he's. It looks kind of like Tintin's trying to comprehend what Pablo was saying. Like, huh, interesting.
Or maybe it's like maybe he just isn't listening to him. Maybe he's just like super concerned about the bullets. But even though he says that, he's just like, okay, I wasn't listening to you because I was too concerned about these bullets.
Yeah, that's probably it, honestly. But
Yeah.
Pablo, he's like, here, take this car and leave, and by midday tomorrow you'll be over the frontier. Don't worry about me. I've covered my tracks and stuff. And then he says goodbye to Tintin, and Tintin's like, goodbye, dear Pablo. I shall remember. Like, super dramatic for some reason.
It's like he's like a damsel in distress or something.
I know. Honestly, I guess Tintin is at this point.
Yeah, he's like, Pablo will never forget what you've done. I'll
Pablo, I'll
remember.
never forget. But
Yeah, but this literally happens to him like a lot. He gets rescued a lot.
I know, especially like he gets broken out of prison a lot because he did in which one was it? I can't remember. Uh,
Uh,
oh, it was
wow.
Hold on, I've got this. um,
Um,
the one
what was it called?
it was one of the episodes we did. The one where Tintin faked his death and he was in the grave and he
Oh
got dug up and
yeah.
stuff. Which one was that? I can't remember.
Was it the last one we did?
No, the last one was Blue Lotus.
Oh yeah, Blue Lotus.
It
This
was the
one's
one before
broken.
Blue Lotus. That one.
Okay.
Cigars of the Pharaoh. That's
Cigars?
it.
No.
Yes, cigars.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
okay.
just cigars.
Anyway, but Pablo's like, "Oh, it's nothing. I haven't forgotten that you saved my life that day. You know, when I told you all the answers and stuff and you decided to spare me." And
Look, they're even like holding hands. They're like, my love. Look at them.
no, they are. It's so dramatic. It's like in those war movies where it's like, "Go on without me." You know, like
Look at them. They're like holding each other's hands. I just realized that.
it's like not even holding hands. They're like dramatically clasping each other's hands. It's like
I must depart.
my people need me.
My people need me.
Anyways, Tintin like drives away and stuff, and Alcazar gets woken up with a phone call because Tintin just escaped, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? You had to recapture him, or I'll shoot every guard at the prison and stuff." And you see these guards like stop Tintin's car, and Tintin he goes, "I can't just run them over."
His face.
He's so determined. He's like, I really need to leave, but also I can't run these people over. So he
He's
decides
like, gosh damn it.
he decides he's going to like stop and play carefully and stuff. And then the guards are like moving to go and talk to him, and Tintin's like, perfect, they're out of the way now. And he like slams on the gas and he like gets out of there and stuff, and the guards are like, oh, that was him. And they call
Oh,
it in. They're like, Tintin went past in a car heading south. Alcazar's like, I want him dead or alive. So all these military guys are like hopping in this car to go after Tintin. Tintin's like, he's either whistling or listening to the radio in the car as he's driving. It's the next morning. They catch up to him. They're like, it's him, open fire. And they're like shooting at him. And a bullet goes through Tintin's windshield. And he's like, snakes, I'm being followed. So he steps on the gas. And he sees like this train coming.
dude.
And the military guys, they're like, oh, it's a train, we have to stop him. The road crosses the railway. And he'll either have to stop or be smashed to smithereens. And Tintin, he's talking to himself. He says, Tintin, my friend, this time it's all or nothing. And he speeds
Damn.
up. He speeds up and just barely misses the train. Or just barely misses him.
I don't know, man. That looks very improbable from where the distance of the train is.
Yeah.
Like,
I
considering
don't
how
know.
fast trains are. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's Tintin.
He has protagonist safety.
Power. Yeah.
But the military guys are like, oh crap, well we can't go after him now because there's a train in the way. And Tintin's like, oh, we cut things a bit close there, didn't we, Snowy? And you see the military guys. The train has passed, and they're like, okay, step on the gas, we'll get him in the mountains and stuff. Tintin's like, oh, mountains, that's bad. Their car's like so much more powerful than mine. They're gonna catch up to us. And it's such a cute panel because Snowy's like turned around looking out the back window. It's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And
Aw.
you see,
And then it's like, oh, you're gonna die.
he's like, oh crap, Tintin. There's right there, Tintin.
Yeah. Like, next to such a cute panel.
Yeah. But the military guys are like catching up really quickly to Tintin because he's in like this dinky civilian car. They're in the military car, and it's really like narrow roads, and Tintin turns like a corner really fast. Snowy actually says, "Tintin, you'll kill us!" right before they go over the edge of the road. And the military guys stop. They're like, "Oh, he went over. That's crazy." And they say like
Every time Tintin does something crazy, you always see the reaction is like, dang.
I know. We should have a counter for all the times Tintin does something crazy.
Yeah, even the enemies are like, okay, that's crazy.
They think he's a lunatic too. But they see
Like,
like
I don't
Hmm?
like, they're like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah. So you see Tintin's car is like at the bottom of this, the cliff, and it's on fire and like stuff, and most of them like climb down to see if he's down there and stuff. And one of the military guys is like, I'm staying here. Why bother climbing down? He's had it anyways. Basically saying like he's pretty much dead at this point. And they all climb down to Tintin's car, and they're like, well, guess he's dead then. But then they hear their car starting up, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And they climb back up and realize their car's gone. Because Tintin stole it.
How?
He, like, got out of the car and made it look like he
I
was,
think Yeah.
And then when they
Oh.
all went down, he, like, jumped in their car and I guess hotwired it or something. I guess he, like,
he's
left
like a
the
fast
keys
climber.
in there.
Did he? So he hopped out. He like jumped out of the car after
Yeah.
it.
He jumped out of
Wow.
his car and hid, so that when they went down, he jumped in their car and either hotwired it or like started it because they left their keys in or whatever.
Yeah.
And he looks so
Stupid. Yeah,
pleased with
what?
himself too. He's like
Yeah.
grinning. Yeah. So the military guys are like, he must have been hiding behind the rocks. Oh my gosh. And one of the others is like, oh, it doesn't matter. He'll be caught at the frontier and stuff. So they pack up and go home. Honestly, same.
Yeah, me.
My car was just stolen by a criminal, and he's headed to the border. Time to just go back home, I guess.
Yeah.
Same. But Tintin looks really pleased with himself at having stolen this car, honestly.
I know. It's so cute even when he's a tyrant.
Yeah. Even when he's committing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But Tintin, he gets to the border, and there's like a checkpoint, of course. And the people at the checkpoint see him, and they're like, "Oh, it's a government car." And and he's like, "If they stop me, I'm as good as dead." So he just plows right through the checkpoint, and he keeps going.
Great.
He's so pleased with himself about this.
That smile! Oh, it's the best smile ever.
That is the best smile. His car's got dinged up from, smashing through the border, but he's having a great time.
It's like everything else in this panel is like so badass except for him.
He
He
looks
looks
so
like he
goofy.
belongs in like a cartoon or something.
Yeah, like a 30s cartoon or something. But
Yeah.
they see him driving past, and because they still think it is a government car, so they think he's part of the enemy government, and it gets called in, of course, and they're like, "Oh, a San Theodoran car with like a machine gun just raced past, heading for the frontier and stuff." And they go on red alert and stuff, and Tintin gets to this point, and they have like set up machine guns and stuff, and he like ducks about level with the steering wheel because he's so short.
Yeah, I can do that.
He's like so short. He's like uh at the height of the steering wheel, trying not to get shot. And he says to Snowy,
Yeah.
"Watch out! They're shooting at our tires and not at me, definitely." And his car crashes. He goes flying. The car goes over a cliff, and he's like dramatically passed out.
Dead.
He's dramatically dead.
Body.
And the border guards like come and arrest him, obviously. And you know
Yeah, they just pick him up. Why do those people pick him up like that?
I don't know. I guess there's
Yeah,
no
whatever.
other way to pick him up other than putting him over their shoulders like a sack of potatoes. But he gets arrested, of course, and it's in some other place. I don't know. I guess in a place in the country Tintin is now in,
In a
and
place.
it's a place, presumably the place Tintin just illegally crossed the border into, and the general of that place gets a message, and it's like an armored car, like did all this crazy stuff, and he takes this as this means war now. That's what they want, and that's what they'll get. So Tintin
Wow.
starts a war.
Sorry.
Oops.
Wait, what? What happened?
No, Tintin he started a war.
Oops. Oh. Oops, I started a war.
Oops, my bad. And so the general guy's like, tell all the newspapers and stuff we're going to war. I want it in the streets in like an hour. So they're all like getting hyped up to go to war with San Theodoros, and Alcazar's like, "Hey, Trickler, it's a success. They just declared war on us." Haha, yeah, some weird incident at the border, whatever.
Mm.
And so Trickler's pleased with himself because he's gonna get the oil fields and stuff. And you know,
Yeah.
everyone's preparing for war, and it's Tintin's fault basically. And you also
Yeah, it's
see like,
always yeah.
always Tintin's fault.
Yeah.
It's so awkward when you accidentally start a war. But you also
Oh.
see Alonso and Ramon, and they are sent off to war, but they're gonna start looking for the idol again, cause war is not gonna
Fortnite.
stop them from treasure hunting.
I just hate it how like everyone's like, oh, they're only showing the people that are enthusiastic about war.
Mhm.
And like they're all just like, wow, war is happening. This is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think in real life too, like at the beginning of a war, people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited to fight for my country," but then it gets less and less exciting, you know?
Yeah, I know. This is like kind of propaganda.
A little bit maybe, but
Yeah. Cuz
Tintin.
yeah, they're only showing like they're only showing people that are like eager to go to
Mhm.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tintin, he's being loaded into like a police truck, whatever. Not necessarily a police truck. I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah, what
But
is that?
um, he is put in the car in the back. It's like the only real way I can describe it is that like the back half is like a caravan wagon kind of.
Yeah.
But so Tintin, he's like tied up and stuff in the back. The guard who's supposed to be watching him is like sleeping, and so Snowy chews through the ropes. Tintin yells "free," and then they're passing a bridge. Like before they get to the bridge, he yells that he's free, because that's a great idea, Tintin. Announce to them that you are now free. And so they pass by this bridge over this river, and he jumps out onto the road and then jumps off the bridge into the river.
Okay.
And they're like shooting at him.
Wow.
Yeah, they're shooting at him the whole time.
He
And
just left his dog to jump down himself.
well, he knows that Snowy's gonna follow him now.
Yeah, but it looks like a huge fall.
Well,
I don't
there's
know.
there's
Oh wait,
it.
never mind. That does not look that doesn't look so yeah, that
hmm
doesn't look so far.
It's the different perspectives that makes it look bigger than you know. But they're like, oh, let him go. He'll be swept over the falls, whatever. Not our problem anymore. And so
Yep.
Tintin, it's so funny because it's just like part of his head is poking out of the water. It looks so funny.
Oh yeah, it does.
And he goes, if I can't reach that rock, I'm done for. Because, he's about to go over a waterfall. And Snowy passes, and Tintin catches Snowy. And he's sitting on this rock, and he's like, well, what do we do now? And then a convenient tree passes by. and and like Tintin is luckily able to maneuver it so he can walk across it to dry land and stuff. And he has now successfully escaped.
It is perfectly long enough for that.
I know, right? Like so convenient.
Yeah. Luck counter. We should have like a lucky counter or something.
Yeah, we should. We'll have so many counters by the end of this, honestly.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, it cuts back to Alonzo and Ramon, and they're reading the newspaper about Tintin's escape and stuff. And it's no, that's not what it is. It's about the boat that Tintin came to San Theodoros on. It caught fire in the middle of the night, and the newspaper is like, oh, all the passengers and crew are saved, but all cargo and baggage has been destroyed. Poor Tintin.
No.
It's okay. He has like 5 other yellow shirts in his closet at home, I guess. But and so
Yeah.
Alonzo and Ramon, they're like, oh, the fetish is gone now. And Ramon, he's like, unless Tintin was lying when he told us that it was in his trunk. And it cuts back to Tintin. It's kind of cute because he's wearing like his normal white shirt, but with the colonel uniform bottoms. It's so cute.
Yeah. She's got those pants. Those weird pants.
It's called fashion.
It's called fashion. Look
It's
it up.
called fashion. But Tintin like finds his house and talks to this guy, and this guy goes to talk to someone else, and it's like, oh, well, if he's lost and bringing shelter, then I guess it's okay for him to come in. And so Tintin's like welcomed in, and it's like this giant villa house kind of. Tintin like is having Pepto-Bismol. I don't know what that is. It's like this pink liquid.
It's the blood of their enemies.
It's too pink for that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Pepto-Bismol.
It's fruit punch.
Yes, fruit punch. So Tintin is drinking fruit punch with the owner of the villa or whatever, and Tintin's like, oh, this river isn't. Don't the Arambayans live somewhere near the banks of this river? And the owner's like, oh yeah, they do, but there aren't many who go over there, cause they're like so fierce, and the last person who tried to go there never came back, and that was 10 years ago. Oh, and
Ooh.
Tintin hears this. He goes, oh, do you think there's anyone who'd agree to take me there? And the owner like does a spit take. He's so like shocked, honestly. And the next morning, Tintin's introduced to a local who knows the river well, and Tintin's like, oh, I want you. Tintin's like, oh, you'll be my guide then. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. And Tintin says, I want to visit the Arambayans. And the guy tries to run away, and Snowy calls him a chicken for it.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Snowy's face.
I know. He's so.
He looks like
great.
a grandpa. I don't know.
No, you're right. But Tintin's like, you know what? Here's some money that I'll pay you. Think it over. And the guy's like, okay, I'll go then.
Think it over. It's like, nah, I'm going.
Yeah. The guy sees all of Tintin's money that he's offering, and he's like, seems like a good idea to go. And the guy also is like, I'm poor though, so you'll have to buy the canoe to go downriver and stuff. And Tintin's like, alright, because he's rich, apparently. From his job he doesn't do.
He never does any of his jobs.
He never does his job, except a few times in the first 3 comics, but never after that, really.
Yep.
So lazy. Well, not lazy, because he is out adventuring at least, but...
Yeah, he should be like, I don't know, a vlogger. If he was living in 2019, he should vlog. Like, hey guys, right now I'm getting chased down by a bunch of soldiers. Living the life.
I think he'd be too busy trying not to die constantly to vlog. You get like small clips of him like, oh, I'm gonna do this now, and the next one is like, I almost just died. I'll update you later.
As you can see, I'm getting shot at, so I need to turn this off so I can drive two of my hands.
He like with the train thing, he puts it on the dashboard. He's like, I'm gonna attempt to outdrive this train. And when he does, he's like, wow, I only just missed it. And anyways, they Tintin and the guy go down the river, of course, and they're talking about the guy who disappeared. And Snowy says, "Does that not bother you, Tintin? Like in the least?"
So
And
is the only smart one.
I know Snowy the dog is the one with the most reason.
Yeah.
Unless Tintin is just like completely fearless against everything, which
Yeah,
apparently
I
he
know.
is.
It's a good dynamic.
But several days later, and they stop along a river to of course along the river, duh. They stop on one of the banks, and it's like they're a day away from the Arab lions and stuff. And so Tintin goes to sleep in the tent, and the next morning he wakes up and his guide is gone. And he's like, well,
Oh, he looks so cute.
He does. He's like poking his head out of the tent just a little bit.
Yeah, it's
And
like some
so is
Scooby-Doo
Snowy.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tintin's like, oh well, the canoe's still here, so like, and he calls for the guide, and then he's like, he left me. And Tintin's like, well, now I understand why he wanted me to buy the canoe, so that he could abandon me and stuff. And Tintin he gets back in the canoe, he's going down the river, and he reaches rapids, and he tips over, of course, and Tintin loses like his guns and food and all that stuff. But he saved Snowy, so
Oh,
that's fine. He saved Snowy, that's what matters.
yeah. The only thing that matters is that the dog doesn't die.
Yeah. Honestly, if Snowy was gonna die by now, he would have kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
But Tintin gets to the shore with Snowy and he's like, well, now I'm in a jam because I don't have a weapon or food, and this is a hostile country, and I'm also by myself. And Snowy's like, I don't count anymore. I don't count anymore, I guess then. Like super passive aggressive. And so Tintin's like walking through the jungle and stuff, and he says, it's weird. I feel like somebody's watching us, Snowy. And Snowy's like, you think so? And then Tintin almost gets hit by a dart, and his reaction to this is a very startled, oh.
Oh!
Oh, someone tried to shoot me with a dart? I mean, he has more of a reaction to this than anything else that's happened in the comic. Like,
Like,
there was
oh.
what was that one thing that he didn't properly react to?
There's a ton of things.
Okay. Well, instead of
There's
sitting
like,
here. No, go ahead.
yeah.
But yeah, this he responds like compared to the other stuff, it seems like an overreaction. Because after this dart almost hits him, he hides behind a tree, and he's like, "It's a
Yeah.
dart. It's definitely poison." Do you remember what the book said like so many pages ago, Snowy? And another dart just barely misses his head, so he starts running again, and he's hiding behind a different tree, and he goes, well, I can't hear anything now, so I must have shaken them off. And his expression is the best.
Oh, his mouth.
I know. But another dart flies at Tintin, and he's like, what the heck? And then he stands up, he goes, cowards, come out and show yourselves unless you're afraid to. He's like picking
Yeah.
fights with people with poison darts.
Yeah, at first he like actually he's bringing out his inner Soviet Tintin.
Soviet Tintin returns.
Yeah.
But there's this snake that's like coming down a tree behind Tintin and Snowy, and Snowy's like, Tintin, you'll get yourself killed, taunting people with poison darts. And the snake almost gets Snowy, but a dart goes through the snake's neck, and Tintin, kind of ironic,
Great.
what he says. He says, "Great snakes." Yeah, Tintin, it is a great snake.
We're so mature.
But he goes, "Great snakes, a white man."
Oh.
Cause like and he said that last one was because this white guy came out of the bushes, and the guy's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And he says, "My name's Tintin. Who are you though?" And the guy goes, "I'm Ridgewell." And he's like, "Ridgewell, the guy that disappeared 10 years ago that everybody thinks is dead?" And Ridgewell's like, "Oh, that's a pity,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think I was gonna return anyway, so whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I'm happy here with the Arambians and stuff." And Tintin's like, "Oh, you adopted their weapons too, clearly." And he's smiling as he says this. He says, "What was the meaning of that little game of darts?" It's like kind of passive aggressive,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, why did he... Oh, yeah, he just wanted... Okay, never mind. It's in the next panel,
Yeah. The
right?
guy's like, I wanted to be like, as I wanted to encourage you to leave very strongly. And he's like, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. And he like shows off his skills. He's like, I'll prove it to you. You see that big flower over there? Tintin goes, yeah. And Ridgewell shoots the flower right in the middle, knocks it off the stem and stuff. And then Snowy starts like yelping and stuff. And it turns out Ridgewell also got Snowy's tail a little bit.
Oh,
Poor
no.
Snowy. He apologizes, so whatever.
The tail healed.
Mhm. And Ridgewell also says, "Oh, don't worry, it wasn't poisoned or anything." So, glad I didn't accidentally poison your dog.
Oh my god, thank god.
That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
But Ridgewell's like, "Okay, well, you want to tell me how you came to be here?" And Tintin basically just recaps why he's there, like the thing with the idol and stuff. And he's like, I followed these two guys to South America. A lot of stuff happened. And, he's basically just recapping stuff. And he finishes with, I thought that perhaps the Arambians would be able to, like, tell me something that's going on, And, like, Tintin says he wants to learn something about the idol. And Ridgewell's like, okay, well, you might. It's very possible. And so they get attacked by the enemies of the Arambians, and they get into like a full-out brawl. And we see return of,
Of
Soviet.
course.
We see return
Tintin
of
doesn't...
Soviet Tintin again.
Yeah, but except he doesn't look too happy
Mhm.
fighting them.
Yeah.
He's like... Like in the next panel, he's like, I feel
Mhm.
kind of bad about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like reminiscent of Soviet Tintin.
Yeah. Soviet Tintin returns. But he actually loses a fight. The one time he actually loses a fight. Because they like knock him over the
Yay!
back of the head. And so he gets tied up and stuff.
Means he's human.
Mhm. Shocker! He isn't perfect. For one single time. But
Yay!
they are tied up and of course in danger. And, Snowy is still left behind. He's like, oh, they're gone. I have to go save Tintin. And he's like, if I can find the Arambayans, they'll be able to help and stuff, you know? And so it cuts to the Arambayan village, and one of the natives is like, the spirits tell me that if your son is to be cured, he has to eat the heart of the first animal you meet in the forest. Oh dear. That's horrible.
These
Ugh.
guys are just represented as savages.
Yeah, that's not racist. we're skipping over that. But so the guy goes into the forest and the first animal he sees is Snowy. And Snowy had grabbed um a quiver from the enemies so that, he could show it to the Arambayans. And so the Arambayan guy sees Snowy carrying the quiver in his mouth and is like, oh, that's weird. I had to catch alive, I guess. And he, like, he tackles Snowy and takes him to the witch doctor, is what he says. That's not racist, thank you. It's great. And so they're like, oh, this cloth that is tied around this dog's tail, it belongs to that old guy who lives with us, because it's his handkerchief, And they're like, hey, do you think he's in danger? And the witch doctor guy's like, you mind your own business, give me the animal and leave.
Wow.
And he, like, goes off on this guy and stuff. And
For being concerned.
I know, I think he's just trying to put on a show so that the guy leaves Snowy alone and stuff. And
Yeah.
the guy, he's like, if you breathe one word of any of this, I'll call down the spirits on you and your family, and you'll all be changed into frogs. And
Okay.
and the witch doctor's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave the old guy because I hope he dies so I can take over again and stuff.
Yay.
Yay! And it cuts to Tintin and Ridgewell, and they're about to die. And suddenly, this totem that's, like, sitting next to them, it, like, speaks, and it's like, we'll not accept these sacrifices and stuff. These two are friends of the forest, and you'll set them free and stuff. And I love Tintin's expression when it speaks. he has
Oh yeah.
he has a more pronounced reaction to this speaking than when he was told that people who tried to kill him escaped from prison, which understandable a little bit because this thing is talking and it shouldn't be, but
Yeah.
and
I
so
know.
Tintin and Ridgewell are leaving, and Tintin goes, "Oh, it's like magic," and
Yeah.
Ridgewell's like,
He's only phased by like magic stuff, I guess.
"I know."
Not like his, life being threatened.
He's like, "Oh, my life being threatened, that's nothing new, but magic, that's something different."
That's bogus.
But Ridgewell's like, "Oh, that wasn't magic. I'm a ventriloquist." And
Oh.
Tintin looks so shocked. It's so cute.
Oh my god. That's also really shocking.
Mhm.
Ventriloquism is shocking to him.
Yeah. This guy has a hobby. Holy crap. But yeah, Snowy's about to die, and the guy trying to kill Snowy gets shot in the butt with a dart, and the guy turns around and is like, "Oh, it's that old guy." And Ridgewell's like, "You
Wow.
villain! You're lucky we decided to." Well, yeah, basically, like, lucky you decided to come and look for us. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah.
Why does he why come like getting shot in the butt like a frequent thing now?
I don't know. That's way too many times people have gotten shot in the butt in this series.
Or like bitten in the butt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Cause like the first time someone got shot in the butt, it was Tintin and Soviets.
Yeah. And then another guy got bitten by Snowy in the butt.
Mm.
A lot of things to butts happening.
Yes.
And then that guy sat in like a bed of spikes.
Yeah. And in this
A lot of
comic too, someone got shot in the butt and then sat on like a pincushion.
yeah.
Poor butts.
Oh man, we can't have a counter for that. That would
No,
be
we can't.
inappropriate.
People go into the description, people getting stabbed or shot in the butt counter, and they're like,
It's gonna be
excuse
our
me?
longest description ever. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
with all
remember
the
that.
with all the counters we plan to have. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's a thing that's like in the last episode, you know?
Yeah, it's like we say we're gonna have counters, but we're not actually because we're all too lazy.
Yeah, it's
But
just a
are we?
matter of having time to go back and actually count all the counters we have.
I suppose.
Mhm.
Are we actually?
Yeah, but that's probably gonna be in the last episode we do. Anyways,
No.
the guy who tried to kill Snowy's run out of the village and stuff, obviously, and Ridgewell is like, "Oh, let me introduce you to the chief of the Arambians." Oh, Tintin's so cute. He like is very polite. He's like, "It's a pleasure, sir." He's so like
Oh.
cute.
Yeah. And then the next panel, he gets shorter. I think.
He does get short, or maybe it's because no, he's definitely shorter.
His legs are like fatter.
Yeah,
Not fatter, like
it's them
yeah,
pants though.
yeah. Those pants.
Those pants make him a thick boy.
When the pants when the pants like stretch, he gets taller. But when
But anyway, moving on. Ridgewell speaks to the chief and stuff in their language, and Ridgewell turns to Tintin and it's like, "Oh, I was just asking the chief about the idol and stuff, and this is what he told me. You'll be super interested." Tintin goes, "I'm all ears." He's like, he looks like an excited schoolboy or something in this
yeah,
panel.
like please tell me I have nearly died for this stupid information so many times.
I know, but Tintin gets hit in the ear with like a ball or whatever, and Ridgewell starts screaming at like a bunch of people that are running away with like golf clubs and stuff. And he turns to Tintin and is like, "I should never have started teaching them golf. They can't play at all." And they move on from
No.
that very quickly. It's like nonsensical. He turns
Yeah.
around to Tintin. He goes, "Anyways," and he says, back to the idol you almost died for. Um, the elders of the tribe still remember about the Walker expedition. Walker being the guy who wrote the book Tintin was reading earlier. In case you forgot, because I almost did.
Yeah, I didn't surprisingly.
Yeah, but Ridgewell's like, they know that an idol was offered as a token of friendship to Walker during his stay with the tribe, but as soon as the explorers had left, the Arambians discovered that a sacred stone had disappeared. And Walker says, "It seems that the stone gave protection from snake bite to anyone who touched it and stuff. And uh, the tribe remembered a guy named Lopez, the explorer's, um, you know, inter interpreter. I'm sorry, it was like cut up, so I was like, what is that word?"
Wait, interpreter?
Yes.
Yeah.
It, I had a moment where I had to like process that because it got cut off. Like the last two letters were in the next line, so I was like,
Interpreter.
interpreter.
Yeah. It's
But
okay.
yeah, um, Ridgewell's like, "Oh, the tribe remembered this guy named Lopez, he was the explorer's interpreter, who would often be seen like prowling around the hut where the stone was kept and stuff. And Ridgewell finishes like the Armabians were like furious. They set off in pursuit of the expedition, caught up with them and killed almost all of them. Walker managed to escape with the idol, and Lopez also got away even though he was wounded. And he finishes with the stone, probably a diamond, was never recovered, and that's how the story is. And Tintin, he's so cute, he's like so excited, he's like, now I understand, the whole thing makes so much sense.
Wow. Oh yeah, he is. Wait,
Yeah.
he's missing his pants. I mean, his stripe. Not his pants. He's missing his stripes.
He's missing his thick boy pants.
He's missing his the stripes on his pants. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just something.
I'm glad it's just the stripes and not the actual pants. Anyways.
Yeah.
Tintin's like, listen, that Lopez guy, he steals the stone, so to avoid suspicion, he conceals it in the idol, and then he thinks he'll be able to get it back later. But then the Arambians attack, and Lopez is wounded, and so he has to run away without the diamond. And the diamond, it's still in the hiding place, which is the idol, and that's why Tortilla and the other two tried to steal it. And Ridgewell's like, oh, I guess you're right then. And so Tintin's like, all I need to do is find the idol and go back to Europe. And it's some days later. He's going back up the river in his canoe. And so meanwhile, you see that Alonso and Ramon have deserted the war. And they're wanted for it. And they conveniently happen upon Tintin. And they're like going to steal his canoe and kill him, I guess. And Tintin's like tying the canoe to a tree. He's like, okay, Snowy, let's just rest here for a while. And Alonso and Ramon pop out of the bushes with their guns pointed at Tintin. They're like, so we meet again, huh? Like, so super villain cheese.
Yeah.
And they're like, you better start talking. And they're like, did you know that the boat we were on had been completely destroyed by fire, burnt out? And Tintin goes, really? And Alonso's like, yeah, really?
He's being held at gunpoint, and he's like, "Oh, that happened."
Yeah, Tintin's like, "Oh, really?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, really, honestly." And Alonso's like, "The idol you left in your trunk has been destroyed, burnt, all because of you, and you're gonna pay for it." And Tintin's like, I told you that the real idol wasn't on board." And so Alonso's like,
he's like, "No."
Yeah. And so Alonso's like, oh, so you lied to us. Well, you're going to tell us where it is again. And Tintin's like, I told you, I don't know. And Alonso's like, there's one more bullet left in this gun. And on the count of 3, if you haven't said anything, this bullet is yours. And he almost gets to 3, but then Tintin goes, look out, a snake! And points behind them. They actually, like, fall for it, and it's so stupid. Tintin, like, punches them.
I know.
Tintin punches them when they turn around. He headbutts the other guy. Like,
yeah.
Like, full on launches himself into the guy's gut. And
it looks so funny.
It's because he's so short.
Yeah.
And so Tintin and Ramon are, like, wrestling and stuff. And Alonso swings the butt of his gun and accidentally hits Ramon. And Tintin's like, fine, of course. And Tintin's running away from Alonso, and then Alonso's like swinging the gun at Tintin because there's no more bullets left in it. And Tintin manages to trip over a tree that was right in front of him. Oh, he's so
Wow.
clumsy.
He manages to dodge the gun, but he trips over that.
I know.
And his outfit ruined.
You ruined
Again.
my outfit, you jerk.
Again, he ruins his outfit.
I
Well,
know.
never the pants. It's never the pants, it's just the top.
Never
The
the thick
pants are
boy pants.
a slim thick.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on from his magic thick boy pants. Alonso is like raising the gun over his head to like, hit Tintin, but he gets stuck on a tree branch, and the branch falls onto Alonso's head and knocks him out. And Tintin's like, well, now that they're taken care of, let's go through his wallet.
Oh my god. What the hell? I thought you were a righteous Catholic boy. What are you doing?
I don't know, but he's tied up Alonso, and he's going through his wallet, and he finds this scrap of paper from Lopez, and it mentions the diamond and the idol and stuff. And Tintin's like, where'd you get this notice? You have to tell me. And Alonso's like, in the ship on our way to Europe, Tortilla dropped it, but we didn't know what it meant. And he says Tortilla was just a fellow passenger, and we didn't realize the significance of the paper when we read about the idol and stuff. So then we decided we'd try to get the idol away from Tortilla. And Tintin's like, excellent! I don't know why he says that. He goes, excellent, I figured it out and stuff. And Tintin's like, the only thing we don't know is how Tortilla got hold of this note, but since he's dead, someone killed him.
He's dead.
Yeah. Tintin's like, since he's dead, cough, cough, I don't suppose we'll ever know. So let's get moving, guys. He's so cheerful. He has like the gun. It's like he has part of it over his shoulder, and he's like, behave yourselves, you guys.
Oh my god.
It's so comical.
He's so awesome.
I know. It's so cute,
Yeah.
honestly. But Tintin puts Alonso and Ramon in his canoe, and they're like, what are you gonna do with us? And he's like, I'll just turn you into the police again. I think you deserve it. And they're like, yeah, right. And Alonso gets free because the other guy, Ramon, unties him. And so Alonso gets up, he grabs a paddle, he's like, don't count your chickens before they've hatched, Tintin. And he he knocks Tintin over the head with the paddle, and Tintin goes over the side of the canoe. It's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it is.
And Snowy dives off the canoe for Tintin and stuff. And Ramon's like, oh look, there's flesh-eating piranhas and stuff in the water. And so Tintin and Snowy are getting bit by the piranhas and stuff. And Alonso's like, oh, I didn't hit him hard enough. He's recovered and he's reached the bank now. And Ramon's like, I'll leave him. We'll be in this other place long before he gets there. And Tintin,
Piranhas are so harmless. Actually, way more harmful than that. But
yeah.
okay.
And Tintin gets to the bank. He's like, oh, I guess there's no point trying to recapture them right now. Because they're out in the water in my canoe, and I can't get to them because of the piranhas.
Piranhas.
And Tintin, like, squeezes the water from his shirt and stuff. And they've gotten rid of the last of the piranhas and stuff. And they decide to walk back to town. And it's several days later. Because, they were walking the whole time. And they get to town, and Tintin's like, oh, I thought we'd never get here and stuff. And he buys a plane ticket to Europe. or a boat ticket, sorry. I don't think planes.
Oh, he's
Hmm.
so short.
I know, he's so short. He looks like a child at
I
the
know.
ticket
Yeah,
counter.
with all like with it looks like he's like I don't know. It looks like he's wearing like clothes that are too big for him, which is why
Yeah.
he looks like a child. Yeah.
Well, it's because his shirt is, like, messed up, and he's got his thick boy pants on. But,
Yeah.
they're like, well, we're not gonna have another boat for, like, another week. So, Tintin's like, oh well, guess we'll get rested and stuff, because we almost just died horribly a bunch of times. And, Tintin goes somewhere, I don't know, and he, like, changes his clothes. He changes out of his thick boy pants. And
Finally.
finally. But, I don't even know where he got that, because his luggage was on the boat, and so
Yeah.
it burned. So I guess he bought new clothes or something that looks exactly like his other clothes.
I think he went like back to his house or something. I don't
Well,
even know
he's
where he is.
he's still in South America because he can't get a
Oh.
boat out to Europe yet.
Yeah, where the hell? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
How does he have money on him?
I don't know,
Okay, whatever.
but it also Tintin reads the newspaper that the area the oil guys were looking at didn't actually have any oil, so they got they got their just desserts, I guess. And so it's a week
Yeah.
later, and Tintin's getting on the boat, you know, and on the radio it's like, oh, it's news, a ceasefire's been arranged between San Theodoros and Nuevo Rico, and they'll probably sign a peace treaty soon. So that's wrapped up and stuff too. And Tintin, he somehow has another yellow suitcase, and like, I don't know.
Eh.
And he's finally back in Europe. Finally. And he's like, oh, it's good to be back, isn't it, Snowy? All we need now is to figure out what happened to the idol and stuff. And everything will be perfect, whatever. And he's passing by the shop and he sees the idol in the window. And he goes, oh my gosh, it's fantastic! And he goes, I can't believe I went so far to find it. And it's just here. And he like goes into the store and gets it and stuff. And he's like walking down the street a little more and he sees more of them in another shop window. So he goes, okay, this is weird. They both have the broken ear. This is crazy. And so he runs into the shop and he goes up to the shopkeeper. He's like, please tell me where you got those idols. And the shopkeeper's like, oh yeah, um, you know. He's like, oh, who did bring those to me and stuff? And Tintin gets the address of the person who brought them in and stuff. And it's Mr. Balthazar's, or not Mr. Balthazar's address, but, um, you know, he mentions Balthazar. I guess it's like a different Balthazar, because,
Yeah.
and
Why can't they just come up with another name?
I think it does explain this, but, Tintin gets to the address he was given. It's like this workshop and stuff. And he goes into the workshop, and there's like tons of these idols all on the table and stuff. And Tintin goes up to this guy. He's like, "Are you Mr. Balthazar, the brother of that other Mr. Balthazar, the one who died?"
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, they're brothers. It seems like. So
Mm.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I am." And Tintin's like, "Hey, can you tell me where you found these idols? The ones you, the idol you the idol you used as a model." And he's like, oh, that's easy. I was going through my brother's things, and it was at the bottom of a trunk and stuff. Why do you ask? Tintin goes, it's a long story. Like, 57 pages long story so
Yeah.
far. And he goes, do you still have the original? And Balthazar's like, you know what? Someone else asked me the same thing not 3 days ago, so I don't have it. I sold it to them, but I can tell you the address of the person who bought it. So Tintin's like, oh, I can't believe this. It was like this rich American guy. Let's go find the real idol. And Tintin goes to the address and is like, can I speak to him? But the butler's like, oh, he's not at home, sir. And Tintin, he just walks in.
Oh yeah.
He walks in. He's like, that's fine. I'll wait for him. Like, honestly. And the butler's like, no, you'll be waiting a very long time.
The
Tintin goes,
sky just turned white.
yeah, I don't know. But Tintin's like, oh, don't worry, I have a lot of time on my hand. And the butler's like, dude, the person who bought it, Mr. Goldbar, he left for America. Tintin's like, America? Oh crap! That place is like full of
This is
gangsters
a
and
wild
stuff.
case.
But the butler's like, he's sailing on this ship today. Maybe if you hurry, you can catch him and stuff. And Tintin's like, of course he had to take the idol with him. Just my luck, because he's had great luck so far. And so Tintin,
Wow.
he goes up to this dock worker. He's like, do you know where this boat is? And Tintin's like panting, or he's like out of breath.
He's just so
like,
out of breath.
I know, because he like ran the whole way, so he's like having trouble getting his sentence out. But he does ask where the boat is, and the dock worker is like, oh, that's her out there in the sea. If you want to board her, you're too late. She sailed like an hour ago. And the guy's like, if you really want to catch her, maybe you could hitch a ride from the air base over there. It's not that far. So he runs off. He goes to the air
Wow.
base, and the pilot is like, catch that ship. Well, maybe we happen to have a plane going over there to deliver some mail. So, and it cuts to the boat, and there's one of the crewmen. He's like ringing the bell for lunch. And the plane takes off, and it's Alonso and Ramon, and they're like, that's Goldbar, he's off to lunch, now's our chance. And so they break into his room, they're going through his stuff, and they find the idol. Finally, someone frickin' found it.
Yeah,
And
finally.
so Tintin arrives on the plane. The plane lands in the water, and Tintin gets on the boat. And meanwhile, Alonso and Ramon are like trying to find the diamond that's inside. And as Tintin's going to the boat, they're like, we can't stay here any longer. It's so risky, someone else might come. Let's take the idol to our cabin, and then we take the time to look at it. And so Tintin arrives on the boat. He looks so cute, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, look at him.
So cute. But Tintin gets aboard. He's like, I need to speak to one of your passengers immediately, Mr. Goldbar. And the person he's talking to, he's like, oh, he's in the dining room and stuff. And Tintin's like running on the deck of the boat, and then he runs into Alonso and Ramon. And they're like, Tintin! And he pulls his gun on them. He's like, hands up! And they drop
Oh my god. He just
I
always
know.
has a gun with him.
Well, considering the life he lives, he should.
Yeah, true.
Honestly. But when they raise their hands, they drop the idol, and it breaks, and the diamond falls out. But then it goes overboard into the sea. And Alonso and Ramon try to strangle Tintin for that. And there's like a fight and stuff, and all three of them go over. And the crewmen obviously notice. They put out a life preserver, and they get Tintin, but not the others. And Tintin's like, hey, what happened to them? And the captain's like, oh, they went straight on down. Very, very far down, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
They went.
Wait. Okay.
They went straight to the underworld, Milku.
So they died.
Yes.
Cool. They died because they were tangled
Mhm.
in
Cuz
each
I guess
other's life.
they didn't wake up in time to, I don't know, but they drowned and they went to a place below. Anyways,
And oh, wait. By the way, like I like how it's like a fake. The panel next to that is so cute because Tintin's just wrapped in blankets
I know it's
and
so
stuff,
cute.
and then you see them being dragged down by
Mhm.
devils. Yeah.
Yeah. Charming, isn't it? But Mr. Goldbar, he's like, "Oh, my idol, my beautiful idol." And Tintin goes up and is like, "I'm very sorry about your idol. Please let me explain." And he says, "I think you should know that that idol is stolen property." And Goldbar is like, "Stolen? But..." And Tintin's like, "Yeah, I know. You bought it and thought it was like legit. And the guy who sold it to you thought it was legit, not illegal item too." And so Goldbar's like, "Well, if that's the case, I'm not gonna keep it. You can have it and take it back and stuff." So Tintin takes it back. It's in its rightful place. Presumably they fixed it because it's in pieces. But Tintin goes, "Snowy, that takes care of that. Let's go to sleep. Take your rest." And Snowy agrees. And the last panel of the comic is the idol back in its place, all stitched up and stuff, and Freddy the security guard
Yeah.
singing on. And that's the end of the comic.
Yay! Final.
I know. So, Milku, what were your thoughts on it?
Um, I really liked it because Tintin got drunk and there were so many cute moments.
Mhm.
Yeah, he I think he looks like the cutest like
Mhm.
in this comic. But also like he also like got more expression
Mhm.
and like a cool new outfit too.
Yeah, the Colonel outfit is
Attitude.
great.
Yeah, he's got a new outfit. Yeah, like there's a lot of like new stuff in here
Mhm.
compared to the other comics,
Yeah.
I guess. But also like they got a bit lazy with the art during the
Mhm.
forest part
Yeah.
because like for a while it was just a green background. Like yeah.
And
I was
understandable
yeah.
though.
Yeah, I know. Like you're not gonna draw leaves in every panel 'cause that's probably time consuming. But still,
Yes.
it just looks like it just looks like they were in just the house with a green wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought, besides some problematic stuff,
Oh
I
yeah, definitely.
I thought it was like perfectly ridiculous and it was so much fun. Seeing Tintin drunk was hilarious, and
Mhm.
it's just it's kind of weird because the first part it's like, "Oh, well, here's this mystery and this stolen item." And then like the middle part, it's Tintin in the army doing various shenanigans, and then he actually gets back on
Yeah.
track. And it's so funny. And I honestly, this is a pretty good comic. Besides the problematic stuff, obviously.
Yeah, besides the racism and I guess the propaganda,
Mhm.
it's really good. It's a perfect combination of like slapstick and
Yeah.
yeah, and like and the jokes I mean, I don't even know if they're jokes like but we made them
Mhm.
jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the stuff here we just like analyzed them and made jokes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like the drunken part has to be like my favorite part
I
of the
know.
comic.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny because, like, in Soviets, he does get drunk, but you don't see him actually being drunk. You know what I mean? And then he wakes up the next
Yeah.
morning and he's hungover. And in this one, he gets so wasted, and you see him acting drunk, and it's hilarious. And he wakes up the next day, no hangover whatsoever. He's just like, "I'm a colonel now, I guess."
Yeah, he wakes up as a colonel.
I know,
Like he doesn't yeah.
presumably he passed out in the outfit, wakes up and it's like, oh crap, I'm a colonel now, I guess.
Yeah, he just doesn't remember, right?
He doesn't remember
Yeah.
anything. Which
Yeah,
it's
I
a
just
wonder.
love wasted Tintin.
I know, it's so funny. Ugh,
Yeah, and like also like the part where they're just playing chess
I know.
is yeah,
Mhm.
it's awesome. It's because like they're Tintin is like still trying to like get to the bottom of a mystery or something. And
Yeah.
he's just busy playing with the with yeah, chess with Alcazar.
Yeah, it's so funny because he wakes up as a colonel. He's like, I should probably quit my job so I can look for the idol. And then he sees Alonzo and Ramon and is like, maybe I shouldn't though. And he spends like who knows how long messing around as a colonel. Like, you know, it's so
Yeah,
funny.
he's just meddling.
Mhm. He's I don't know. It's
He's
so
being
funny.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like all that military stuff, like the car chase scene. There's you also have like the ridiculous stuff in it, obviously, because there's
Mhm.
always. But like when he got struck by lightning and he just like teleported out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think what happened was that
stuff
it
like that.
threw him. It was so forceful that it threw him out the window.
I guess. I don't know if that makes sense,
I
but
don't know if it does
okay.
either, but it's a comic, so we're not gonna question it. It is not
Yeah,
the
we're not
weirdest
gonna
thing.
go like yeah.
It's considering one of the later comics, that specific one with the
Yeah,
airplane. It's not the weirdest thing that will ever happen in this series, honestly.
probably. Yeah, it doesn't get it's so underrated. It doesn't get
Mhm.
enough attention.
Well, to be fair, each of the comics do have something about them that makes them really good, and some of those comics stand out more than Broken Ear to some people. So,
Yeah, true.
especially cuz
Yeah.
this is one of the earlier ones. It's the 6th in the series. So there's like so many other ones after it, and they did
Yeah.
have some really good stories after that. So it's kind of hard to be like, "Oh, well, this one is the best one." Like it is
Mhm.
good and it is really funny, but sometimes it's difficult to be like, okay, this is the best one of the series for sure.
Yeah. Here's a like improved his storytelling and his like art for
Mhm.
time.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
one.
only safe to assume that this one isn't the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was gonna say something but I forgot.
Oh
Like
dear.
this one to me this one is like known for the drunk Tintin comic.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Uh.
that's probably the only thing I'll remember about the comic. And like the
Mhm.
ridiculous parts like the lightning one.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember
So yeah.
the super cool Colonel outfit and
Yeah.
the drunk Tintin part. When I first,
Yeah.
because this is I think the first comic I read, because I heard about, because I started watching the um cartoon first, the 1990 version, and I had read somewhere that they took out the part of the Broken Ear episode where he got drunk. So I went and found the comic to read that part, and I was very surprised because of Tintin's disguise, that certain disguise that we're not going to talk about. And I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap. And I was like, oh dear. It was,
Yeah. Like
yeah.
this comic is great, but it's got the racist parts which really
Hmm.
degrades it
Yeah.
for me.
Hmm. Luckily,
So
Hergé
yeah.
got less racist as he went on.
Yeah, he shows remorse and
Hmm.
he apologizes, I guess.
Yeah.
Did he I don't know if he actually like made a formal apology.
I think he did feel sorry for that stuff later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was Broken Ear. Thank you for listening. Links are in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We upload every Wednesday. We try to upload
Yeah.
every Wednesday.
Yep, we sure do.
Thanks for listening.